The moment began like any other high-profile morning show appearance, with cameras rolling, smiles fixed, and the familiar warmth of Good Morning America filling the studio. Jackie Chan, the global action icon known for his humor and humility, walked onto the set greeted by applause. Michael Strahan welcomed him enthusiastically, but beneath the surface, viewers would later claim there was an unusual tension in the air. What was meant to be a light promotional interview slowly shifted into something far more uncomfortable, setting the stage for a moment that would shock audiences watching live and online. At first, the conversation followed a predictable rhythm, touching on Jackie Chan's legendary career, his dedication to stunt work, and his influence on generations of filmmakers. Jackie smiled politely, but some noticed his responses were shorter than usual. Michael Strahan, known for his friendly yet direct style, pushed forward with questions that seemed slightly more personal than expected. While nothing appeared explosive yet, body language experts later pointed out Jackie's posture stiffening, suggesting he was bracing himself for a turn he may not have anticipated. The tone reportedly shifted when the discussion moved away from film and into Jackie Chan's past comments about Hollywood, cultural differences, and the pressure of Western media. Michael framed a question that some viewers felt sounded confrontational rather than curious. Jackie paused longer than usual before answering, choosing his words carefully. His smile faded just enough for the audience to notice. In that pause, many believe the mood of the entire interview changed, marking the beginning of a slow-burning confrontation unfolding live. Jackie responded diplomatically, emphasizing respect between cultures and the importance of understanding context. However, Michael followed up with another pointed remark, seemingly challenging Jackie's stance. The exchange grew tense, with Jackie's voice remaining calm but firm. His eyes no longer wandered playfully around the studio but locked directly onto his interviewer. To longtime fans, this was unusual. Jackie Chan is famous for avoiding conflict in public settings, making this moment feel increasingly uncomfortable and undeniably serious. As the conversation continued, Jackie appeared visibly frustrated, shifting in his seat and clasping his hands together. Michael Strahan, perhaps unaware of how close the situation was to boiling over, continued pressing the issue. Social media users later argued that the questioning felt less like an interview and more like an interrogation. The studio audience grew quieter, sensing something was wrong. What was supposed to be entertainment television was slowly transforming into an awkward standoff unfolding in real time. Jackie attempted to redirect the conversation back to his work, mentioning upcoming projects and his passion for mentoring younger actors. For a brief moment, it seemed the tension might dissolve, but Michael returned to the earlier topic, repeating a phrase that appeared to trigger Jackie's visible irritation. Jackie's jaw tightened, and his tone shifted from diplomatic to stern. The warmth that once defined the interview was now gone, replaced by an unmistakable chill that even casual viewers could feel. According to those watching closely, Jackie finally set a clear boundary, stating that certain topics were being misunderstood and taken out of context. He emphasized that he was there to celebrate his work, not to defend himself against narratives he felt were unfair. Michael responded with a half-smile that some interpreted as dismissive. That subtle reaction seemed to be the final straw. Jackie leaned back, exhaled slowly, and looked away from the cameras for the first time. The silence that followed was brief but heavy. Studio staff reportedly shifted nervously behind the scenes, unsure whether to cut to commercial. Jackie turned back, thanked the audience politely, and said something that microphones barely picked up. His chair scraped softly against the floor as he stood up. Michael appeared surprised, attempting to lighten the mood with a comment, but Jackie did not sit back down. In that instant, it became clear something extraordinary was about to happen. Jackie Chan then calmly removed his microphone, placing it on the chair with deliberate care. His expression was not angry, but deeply disappointed. He nodded once toward Michael and once toward the audience, a gesture that felt more like a respectful farewell than a dramatic exit. Without raising his voice or creating chaos, Jackie turned and walked off the set. Gasps could be heard as cameras quickly shifted away, signaling an abrupt end to the segment. Within minutes, clips of the moment flooded social media platforms, with viewers replaying every second, analyzing every glance and word. Some defended Michael Strahan, arguing he was simply doing his job as an interviewer. Others overwhelmingly supported Jackie, accusing the show of crossing a line. Hashtags began trending, and speculation ran wild about what exactly had been said off mic. The calm but firm walk-off became one of the most talked-about television moments of the day. Entertainment insiders soon weighed in, suggesting that Jackie had specific boundaries outlined before the interview. According to these reports, certain topics were allegedly agreed to be avoided. If true, that would explain Jackie's growing frustration as the conversation unfolded. Fans pointed out that Jackie's career has spanned decades precisely because of his discipline and respect, making it unlikely he would walk off unless he felt genuinely disrespected or cornered during the exchange. Good Morning America did not immediately release a detailed statement, which only fueled speculation. Some viewers accused the show of intentionally pushing controversy for ratings, while others believed the moment was simply a misunderstanding blown out of proportion. Meanwhile, Jackie Chan remained silent, allowing the footage to speak for itself. His silence was interpreted by many as a dignified response, reinforcing his reputation as someone who avoids public drama unless absolutely necessary. Michael Strahan later addressed the moment briefly, stating that no disrespect was intended and that live television can sometimes lead to unexpected outcomes. His words were measured, but they did little to quiet the debate. Supporters of Jackie argued that intention does not erase impact, especially when dealing with cultural nuance and personal history. The interview was no longer just an interview, it had become a broader conversation about respect, boundaries, and media responsibility. Longtime fans of Jackie revisited past interviews, noting how consistently he has emphasized humility and mutual understanding. Many pointed out that he has walked away from projects and conversations before when he felt values did not align. This pattern, they argued, added credibility to his decision to leave the set. To them, the walk-off was not a tantrum but a quiet assertion of self-respect in an industry that often pressures celebrities to endure discomfort silently. Critics, however, questioned whether walking off was the right move, suggesting it escalated a situation that could have been resolved calmly on air. They argued that as a global icon, Jackie carries influence and responsibility. Supporters countered that setting boundaries publicly can send a powerful message, especially to younger artists watching closely. The debate highlighted a deep divide in how audiences expect celebrities to handle uncomfortable situations under the relentless gaze of live television. As hours passed, media outlets dissected the clip frame by frame, inviting experts to analyze body language and tone. Some claimed Jackie's discomfort was evident from the start, while others believed the turning point came much later. Regardless of interpretation, one fact remained undeniable: the moment resonated deeply with viewers. It tapped onto universal feelings of being misunderstood, talked over, or pushed beyond personal limits in a public setting. Behind the scenes, sources claimed producers were scrambling to manage the fallout. Internal discussions reportedly focused on how the interview was handled and whether adjustments were needed for future high-profile guests. The incident became a case study in live television risks, reminding networks that even seasoned hosts and legendary guests can clash when expectations are not perfectly aligned. The smooth surface of morning television had cracked, revealing the complexities beneath. International audiences reacted just as strongly, with fans across Asia, Europe, and beyond expressing solidarity with Jackie. Many praised his composure, noting that he did not raise his voice or insult anyone. Instead, he chose to remove himself from a situation he found uncomfortable. That restraint, they argued, was more powerful than any heated argument could have been, reinforcing why Jackie Chan remains respected worldwide. Others reflected on Michael Strahan's position, acknowledging the pressure hosts face to deliver engaging content. Live interviews leave little room for correction once words are spoken. Some suggested that the clash was not about malice but miscommunication, amplified by cultural differences and the high stakes of live broadcasting. This perspective urged empathy for both sides, reminding viewers that even professionals can misread a moment. Days later, the clip continued circulating, gaining millions of views and sparking reaction videos from creators around the globe. Each reaction added a new layer of interpretation, from outrage to disappointment to understanding. The walk-off transcended gossip, becoming a moment people related to personally. Many shared stories of times they wished they had walked away from uncomfortable situations instead of staying silent. Jackie's team eventually hinted that he stood by his decision, emphasizing his commitment to respectful dialogue. Though carefully worded, the message reinforced that the walk-off was intentional, not impulsive. Fans viewed this as closure, while critics saw it as firm resolve. The lack of further escalation helped prevent the story from turning into a prolonged feud, allowing the focus to remain on the broader issues raised. Media analysts noted that such moments often reveal more about audiences than celebrities. The strong reactions showed how deeply people care about authenticity and respect in public discourse. Jackie's calm exit contrasted sharply with the usual explosive confrontations seen on television, making it all the more striking. It challenged the idea that drama must be loud to be impactful. For Good Morning America, the incident became a reminder of the fine line between compelling questions and uncomfortable pressure. Future interviews appeared more cautious, with hosts taking extra care to establish tone and boundaries. Whether directly related or not, the change did not go unnoticed by viewers who remembered the Jackie Chan moment as a turning point in how interviews were approached. Jackie Chan, meanwhile, continued promoting his work through other platforms, appearing relaxed and upbeat. These appearances reassured fans that the walk-off had not shaken him. Instead, it seemed to reinforce his sense of control over his public image. By choosing when to engage and when to exit, he demonstrated a level of agency that many admired deeply. The incident also sparked discussions about cultural sensitivity in Western media. Commentators argued that global stars should not be boxed into simplified narratives. Jackie's career, spanning multiple cultures and industries, resists easy categorization. The interview clash became a symbol of what happens when complex identities are reduced to sound bites under the pressure of live television. Over time, the initial shock faded, but the conversation lingered. Journalism students analyzed the interview, while media professionals debated best practices. Jackie's walk-off was referenced alongside other iconic television moments, not for its chaos, but for its quiet firmness. It proved that sometimes the most powerful statement is simply choosing not to continue. Fans often revisit the clip not to assign blame, but to understand the human emotions behind it. The slight hesitation, the careful words, the final decision to stand up all tell a story beyond headlines. It is a reminder that celebrities, despite their fame, experience discomfort and frustration just like anyone else, only under far brighter lights. Michael Strahan's career moved forward as well, with many acknowledging his professionalism in addressing the situation calmly afterward. The absence of ongoing hostility suggested that both sides recognized the complexity of what occurred. In an industry prone to prolonged feuds, the restraint shown by both parties helped prevent the story from becoming uglier than it already was. Ultimately, the Jackie Chan Good Morning America walk-off remains memorable because it defied expectations. There was no shouting, no insults, no spectacle in the traditional sense. Instead, there was a quiet assertion of boundaries. That subtlety is what continues to draw viewers back, encouraging reflection rather than outrage. In the end, the moment stands as a lesson in live television, cultural respect, and personal dignity. Whether viewers side with Jackie Chan or Michael Strahan, most agree that the incident sparked an important conversation. It reminded audiences that even in carefully produced environments, authenticity can surface unexpectedly, leaving a lasting impact long after the cameras stop rolling. As discussions continued online, many viewers began questioning how often similar moments happened but never reached the public eye. Industry insiders hinted that celebrities walking away from uncomfortable interviews is far more common than audiences realize, but cameras are usually cut in time. Jackie Chan's moment stood out because it happened live, unfiltered, and without the usual damage control. That rawness gave viewers a rare glimpse into the power dynamics between media platforms and global stars. Some fans drew comparisons between this incident and past walk-offs by other celebrities, noting how reactions often depend on tone and behavior. Jackie's calm demeanor changed the narrative entirely. Instead of being labeled difficult or unprofessional, many praised him for grace under pressure. This response highlighted how delivery can shape public opinion, even more than the action itself. Walking away quietly sent a message that words alone may not have conveyed. Media psychologists weighed in, explaining that audiences increasingly value emotional intelligence over confrontation. Jackie's choice resonated because it mirrored what many people wish they could do in uncomfortable work or social situations. The interview became a mirror for everyday experiences, transforming a celebrity moment into a relatable human one. That relatability helped sustain interest long after the initial shock wore off. Advertisers and networks also took notice, recognizing that viral moments can have unpredictable consequences. While controversy can drive short-term attention, it can also damage trust. The Jackie Chan walk-off became a cautionary tale about prioritizing respectful dialogue over sensationalism. For morning television, which thrives on warmth and approachability, the incident challenged assumptions about how far hosts should push. Cultural commentators emphasized that Jackie's international background played a significant role in how the moment unfolded. Communication styles differ across cultures, and what seems like persistence in one context can feel confrontational in another. This nuance sparked broader conversations about how Western media engages with global figures, urging a more thoughtful approach when navigating sensitive topics on live broadcasts. Fans also noted Jackie's age and legacy, arguing that legends deserve a different level of consideration. After decades in the industry, his willingness to walk away signaled that experience brings clarity about personal limits. Younger artists, watching closely, may have learned that success does not require enduring every uncomfortable situation, especially when it compromises self-respect. Over time, the story shifted from controversy to reflection. Comment sections filled with thoughtful takes rather than outrage, showing how initial reactions can evolve. People began asking not who was wrong, but what could be learned. That shift marked a rare moment in internet discourse, where a viral clip led to introspection instead of endless division. Some producers reportedly revisited interview preparation protocols, emphasizing clearer communication with guests beforehand. While no official changes were announced, subtle adjustments were noticed by regular viewers. These behind-the-scenes shifts suggested that the impact of Jackie's walk-off extended beyond headlines, influencing how live television navigates sensitive conversations. Jackie's fans continued celebrating his career milestones, refusing to let one tense moment overshadow decades of positivity. In fan forums, the walk-off was framed as just one chapter in a long story defined by resilience and discipline. This perspective reinforced the idea that a single incident does not define a legacy, especially one as expansive as Jackie Chan's. The incident also sparked renewed appreciation for Jackie's past interviews, where his humor and openness shone through. Revisiting those moments reminded audiences that the walk-off was an exception, not a pattern. That contrast helped contextualize the event, portraying it as a deliberate choice rather than a loss of control. Michael Strahan's supporters echoed similar sentiments, emphasizing his long history of respectful interviewing. They argued that one tense exchange should not overshadow years of professionalism. This balanced view gained traction, showing that audiences are capable of holding nuanced opinions rather than choosing sides blindly. Journalism educators began referencing the clip in classrooms, using it to discuss ethics, tone, and adaptability in live interviews. Students analyzed how quickly situations can shift and how responses in those moments define outcomes. Jackie's calm exit became a case study in nonverbal communication and boundary setting under pressure. As months passed, the story settled into pop culture memory, resurfacing occasionally in discussions about iconic TV moments. Unlike scandals that fade quickly, this one lingered because it felt meaningful. It captured a quiet clash of expectations, values, and communication styles, leaving room for interpretation rather than definitive judgment. Ultimately, the lasting impact of the walk-off lies in its subtlety. There was no explosive confrontation, yet it sparked conversations across industries and cultures. That paradox is what makes the moment enduring. Sometimes, Restraint speaks louder than outrage, and silence can be more powerful than argument. In retrospect, the Jackie Chan and Good Morning America moment serves as a reminder that respect is not just about words spoken, but about listening and understanding. Whether seen as a misunderstanding or a necessary stand, the walk-off left an imprint on viewers worldwide. It reinforced the idea that even in the spotlight, choosing dignity over discomfort can redefine a narrative. As months went by, the incident became a benchmark for discussing how media outlets handle international stars, especially those with different cultural sensibilities. Jackie's response highlighted how often Western media oversimplifies complex personalities for the sake of easy narratives. This sparked discussions around global media literacy, urging viewers to understand the broader context of celebrity interviews and how cultural expectations shape interactions. The conversation around Jackie's walk-off also brought attention to the way interviews are often scripted or manipulated behind the scenes. Although Good Morning America is known for its spontaneity, many pointed out that pre-interview discussions set the tone for what is acceptable. In Jackie's case, the tension seemed to stem from a lack of clear communication between him and the producers regarding the topics that would be covered. This raised questions about the ethical responsibilities of talk shows to ensure that their guests are properly briefed and respected. For Jackie Chan, the walk-off served as an important reminder of his values. Throughout his career, he has been known for his dedication to hard work, humility, and an unwavering sense of integrity. Those who have followed his journey closely acknowledged that this public display of restraint was not out of character for him. Instead, it was a demonstration of the importance he places on personal boundaries and his unwillingness to compromise on his core beliefs, even in the face of professional pressure. Jackie's response to the situation, remaining calm and composed, further endeared him to his fans, reinforcing the image of the action star who not only delivers thrilling performances on screen but also stands firm in real life. His decision to walk away was seen as a testament to the fact that he values his mental peace and self-respect more than any fleeting moment of television fame. This only added to his reputation as someone who values substance over style. While the walk-off was initially a shock to fans and media alike, in hindsight, it provided an important lesson about the power of media control. Jackie Chan's exit from the interview could be seen as a reclamation of his personal narrative. In a world where celebrities are often reduced to sound bites, his quiet defiance became a powerful statement about owning one's voice and maintaining agency over public representation. Jackie's moment of departure also resonated with those who have experienced personal or professional boundaries being tested. Many people, particularly in high-pressure jobs or industries, saw his decision as an example of how to assert control when placed in uncomfortable situations. It became a conversation starter about how individuals can stand up for themselves without causing drama or making a scene. A quiet but firm statement of personal worth. Over time, Jackie's walk-off transformed from a controversial event into a defining moment of his career, showing that sometimes the most impactful statements aren't made with words but through actions. His decision to leave the set was seen as a moment of quiet strength, reminding the world that no matter how famous you are, self-respect should always come first. That simple act continued to inspire others long after the cameras stopped rolling. Fans of Jackie Chan continued to express their admiration for him, not just for his stunts and action-packed films but also for his conduct off-screen. His career is built on authenticity, and the walk-off, far from detracting from his image, only deepened his connection with those who respected his values. This reinforced the notion that Jackie's strength lies not only in his physical prowess but in his ability to remain true to himself, even in the face of adversity. The walk-off also prompted a wave of online support from fellow celebrities, many of whom expressed solidarity with Jackie's decision. Actors, musicians, and public figures from across the entertainment world took to social media, praising his composure and decision to stand up for himself. This support emphasized that the challenges Jackie faced were not just about him but about how public figures navigate the pressures of fame and media scrutiny. Good Morning America, for its part, did not respond with immediate clarification or apology. Instead, the show moved on to the next guest, and the incident faded from the headlines. However, media watchers noted that this was part of the larger trend of talk shows focusing more on sensational moments than on meaningful content. Some questioned whether this moment would spark a broader conversation about the ethical responsibilities of talk show hosts and whether more thought should go into how celebrities are interviewed in the future. As the months passed, many began to look back at the Jackie Chan walk-off as part of a broader cultural shift in how celebrity interviews are conducted. With increasing demands for transparency, authenticity, and respect, this moment became a symbol of a turning point in media interactions. It pointed out that the days of exploiting celebrities for cheap drama and spectacle might be numbered, as audiences demand more genuine conversations. As more interviews with Jackie Chan surfaced, viewers started noticing a recurring theme. Jackie remained consistent in his responses to similar questions, but his openness and warmth were more evident when he felt respected. This pattern showed that Jackie was not adverse to tough questions but simply wanted to engage in conversations that were thoughtful and respectful, rather than combative or sensationalized. Jackie's fans began sharing their own stories of times they had stood up for themselves in professional or personal settings, drawing a parallel to his walk-off. These stories of self-assertion and standing up against disrespect further humanized Jackie, making the moment feel less like a celebrity incident and more like a shared human experience. His walk-off thus transcended the realm of celebrity gossip and became a source of empowerment for many. The attention from the walk-off also led to renewed interest in Jackie Chan's broader career, with retrospectives on his filmography and interviews celebrating his legacy. People revisited his past works, from his early martial arts films to his more recent efforts in Hollywood, appreciating the depth of his talent. This collective reassessment of his career helped frame the walk-off not as a dramatic exit but as another chapter in the ongoing story of his extraordinary life and career. In the end, the walk-off served as a powerful reminder of the importance of boundaries, both in personal relationships and professional settings. Jackie Chan's decision to leave was not just about that specific interview but about setting a precedent for how media interactions should be approached. It demonstrated that sometimes, walking away can be more impactful than engaging in a debate, and that respecting one's personal limits is a form of strength in itself. As the story of the walk-off continued to reverberate through the entertainment world, it sparked broader conversations about how media outlets handle uncomfortable situations with celebrities. Would networks take extra care in their future interactions with stars, being mindful of their comfort levels? Only time would tell, but Jackie's quiet yet powerful exit served as an important reminder that in the high-stakes world of live television, respect should always come first. Fans of Jackie, who had always admired him for his humility, found a deeper layer to his character after the walk-off. Many commented on how his decision to leave, rather than retaliate with words or anger, embodied the qualities they had long admired in him. Jackie Chan, the action star, was now seen as more than just a performer. He was an example of someone who navigated life with dignity and wisdom, both on and off the screen. The event also pushed people to reflect on how they consume media. In an era dominated by sensationalism and instant reactions, Jackie's measured exit encouraged viewers to think critically about the interviews they watch and the narratives they consume. The walk-off became a catalyst for questioning the ethics of journalism and how easily interviews can be manipulated to fit specific agendas. For years to come, Jackie Chan's walk-off would be referenced in discussions about celebrity privacy, media ethics, and the intersection of cultural differences. It would become a moment to remember, not for its trauma, but for its message, that even in the face of uncomfortable situations, it is possible to maintain one's dignity and to walk away when necessary, without further escalation. Ultimately, Jackie Chan's walk-off from Good Morning America became an iconic moment in his legacy. It was a demonstration of how even in the celebrity world, where everything is amplified, an individual can assert their boundaries and preserve their integrity. This moment reminded people everywhere that self-respect is universal and that it's okay to step away when the situation calls for it.